Hi everybody, we're starting a brand new adventure, and if we get this right it'll change the face of our local park and hopefully Blackpool itself. We've got lots and lots of Cordyline Australis Multistem seeds. We've taken them from a mature tree in Anchorsholme Park. It's a multi-stem one, which is the type that we've been planting in there. Prices of those trees now are about 2 years old to 3 years old type trees are coming in about £100 per tree, and whilst they're amazing and we planted 30 of them, we want to plant lots more, and we just don't have the budget to carry £100 a tree. So like every problem, it's a solution in disguise. Our vision is that we are going to plant and grow our own from seed. And so we've taken a number of cuttings, and from the cuttings we've brushed down all the seed pods, and they're in that black bag there. And what we're going to do is plant them today. I'm going to show you how we do that, and then we're going to chart that journey as they grow, and we believe it's going to take about 2 years before they're ready to plant in the park. As you can see, there are Christmas cards here. It is Boxing Day today, so it's a day we definitely won't forget when we actually started this journey, and we're going to try and cover that and all the exciting things that happen over the next 2 years as we get hopefully lots of these to plant. And if it works in Anchorsholme Park, our vision is this could be the tree of Blackpool, because Anchorsholme Park is right by the sea. So if we get this right, then we could see lots of these appearing in some of the coastal parts of Blackpool, and really give us the trees and so on that our amazing town deserves. And so yes, it's the start of a very exciting journey, and you're very much part of it. So right, let's get started. Now we've got two different ways of planting these. We've got a more of a conventional way, which is the tray with the compost in, and we'll put the compost in and then into one of the trays, and then the lid on top, obviously a little bit of spray of water. And then we've also got, as a trial, these things here. I've got these fairly cheap off the internet, and I've never ever used these before, so this is going to be an experiment. And you basically add water onto these, and these expand, and then you put an individual seed pod into one of these. Well, they go in there, seed goes in there, put them in there, and then one of these lids goes on top. Obviously you put 5 or as many of these you can squeeze in. So we're going to see which ones work the best. The beauty of those is that these are biodegradable, so you can then eventually, without disturbing the roots, be able to plant them individually and so on. The benefit of those is that you can get a lot more seeds in them, so you don't have to worry about what doesn't grow and what does grow. The benefit of these is you don't have to disturb them. So we're going to see which works. So it's a bit of an experiment within an experiment. And so yes, we'll get the seeds out now, and we'll show you the seeds that we've taken from the multi-stem in Anchorsholme Park. So here we are. These are the multi-stem Cordyline Australis seeds. They're the same at this stage as a single stem Cordyline Australis, and you'll see each one is in a white pod like this. And just zoom in for you so you can see it. Just there on the camera. There we go. And what this does is we're going to plant these as 2 today. Some in the white shells like this, and the others we're going to actually just, if you see what I do now with my fingers, squeeze that open, and inside there, just about see it, is a little black dot, and we'll be planting some of those black dots with some tweezers. There we go, just zoom in a bit there. There it is, so you can just about see it in there. And we think they should grow a bit quicker. So we're going to have a bit of fun today, squeezing through these and then planting them all up into the 2 different sets of trays that we've got. So with the peat pots, I've just been doing a little bit of a trial of how to expand them. I just checked on YouTube, good old YouTube, and you have to soak them for about an hour. So what I'm going to do is just start popping these in a bucket now, and we'll pour them in there. That's it. Oh, gosh, a bit of soil there coming out. Definitely a bucket. is required for these. Pop all them in there and we'll sink them. That's it. Let them all expand. Put them in there so they get plenty of water, and we'll let them, that's it, start to expand. There we go. A good soak. Oh yeah, you can start seeing rising now. Look. That's it. Brilliant. Okay, so we'll leave them to soak, a bit like a Blue Peter moment this. Gosh, that water's cold. And then what we're going to do in the meantime is do it the old-fashioned way first, which is I'll set that up with a standard compost for potting, which you're going to put in those trays there, and we'll start putting some of the seeds in and so on. And we'll do half and half, some with just white seeds and some with the actual squashed seed out the pod, I should say, not the white seeds, the pods. Right, so let's crack on and do that one next. So we've got the tray lined up now. I've got some nice potting compost in there. And what I'm going to do is just take each one of these little white seeds here and plop them in. I'm just going to be really careful to squeeze it out. Now, I have got some tweezers, so I might just use those for this this bit here. If we can find them, I'll just put them somewhere. Where are they? Oops. Aha, I found them. Right, so it might be easy just to pick them out with the tweezers here. Very kind of my mum to lend me her tweezers. I'll get a replacement because I don't think you'd want to be using these after I've been working on this. So I'm just going to put these white ones in like that, and these are going to be the standard pods, and see how long these take to grow. Leave a nice space behind. Now I'm sure you could just put these through, but because I've left these to dry, I'm just being really careful to make sure I'm just planting the actual white pods and not any of the matter that they came with from the actual tree itself, because I don't know if it's rotting and I don't want to spread any of that through into how we transplant them across. So I'm just going to put this in there now, look, and putting these through nicely spaced out so that when they do start to grow, they'll have plenty of I don't want to come out. There we go. Yeah, they'll have plenty of space to grow in, because we'll have to separate these out. So I'm just going to do that now. Here we go. You just get a good view of them there, look. And that one's disappeared. That's no bad thing. Okay. That's right. Imagine these all as trees in about 10 years' time, and they're huge things. Okay. Brilliant. That's it. We're getting some. Got these nice big ones here. Ooh. Bit of muck with that, so I'll just clean that off with my finger. There we go. Yeah, it's stuck on there, is it? There we go. Clean that off. Don't want any of the nasty stuff growing into that. It's quite therapeutic, this, actually. Really something to do if you're having a stressful moment in life, and plop those in. And put those in there. Oh, that's good. 2 for 1. And I've got loads of these, as you can see. So we'll just see if they look okay. You know you're on a winner. There we go. And that's how many put in there is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, about 30 odd plant tree seeds there. There we go. Brilliant. And then all you then do is, just going to put this glove on here because I'm just going to handle some compost. There we go. And you just put very, very light amount of compost over them, either so. not too much. There we go. Sprinkle that over. Get some more. There we go. You should see them just cover over. It's quite hard doing this with one hand. There we go, almost done. And then the trick next is, from what I've been reading, is that these guys don't like too much water, so we're just going to give them one little drink a week. And I'll just take this glove back off again. And then we'll put the lid on them because they don't like too much water, and they should sweat as well. There we go. Put that in there. Anything too much and they'll start to rot. I'll put the lid on them. Get the lid off. And there is the first one done. Now what I'm going to do is, cleverly this time, I learned the hard way, is I've got a little pack of markers here. So I'm going to write on which ones are white, have still got the shells on, the pods, and then when we do the ones without the pods, we'll remember what they are and we can then compare them properly. Otherwise I'm bound to forget. So half an hour later, this is very Blue Peter-esque, you can see they've actually got fairly big. They look like big sort of sausages really. I'll just put this glove on here. Bear with me. Should have done this before I started filming. Here we go. Let's have a look. So let's have a look at this here, and that's what they look like. So what I'm going to do now is just dry these out. I'm going to put them all in these little trays I've got, these green trays. I'm going to dry these out because the Cordyline Australis don't like too much water, especially when they haven't got any roots to soak it up. And what will happen if we're not careful is they'll start to rot. So I'm just going to dry these out here, these like little sausages, and then I'll use the time as we dry these out to start to plant the ones without pods. So I've done 3 trays now with the shells, the little shell pods, and now I'm going to set the compost up and show you as we start planting some without the pods. That's going to be really fiddly because the one beauty with the pods is they're white, and against the soil they really contrast in terms of the colour. So but when they're black on black, it's not going to be as easy to spot them. But with the power of tweezers, we should be okay. So I'll carry on putting these out here, and then we'll then start working on the pod bits going into these trays, and then we'll come back and put these in at this point. So I've put the little sausages, as I like to call them, or peat pods, together now. They're all going to dry in there, and then we'll put the little lids on them. I was going to put these in these little cups, but I think we'll hold fire on them now. I've got one like that, but I prefer, well, let's try it how they're designed. Let's put the pods into those, and then we can use them when they're a bit bigger, and then transplant them. I think that's what we'll do with those there. I think that should be the plan. So whilst they're drying out, what we're now going to do is we've got 3 trays of the Cordyline Australis seeds with their white shells in trays, and we've got 2 trays left, and what I'm going to do is try them without the shell. So I've got to really fiddly this, really fiddly. So we just take one of these here, and you can see that, so I'm going to squeeze it and out. Hopefully, if we can just squeeze this, start to see a little black, there we go, and take that out, and that is its seed. So what I'm going to do now, carefully, not to drop this, is I'm going to plant, get rid of that, I'm going to plant that about there. There we go. And get rid of its shell because I don't want that. Now what I'm going to do is do a whole tray of these. So this is really fitting because I'm going to squeeze, just pinch them gently like that and just squeeze that out and get that shell. I'm going to put that like so. There's another one. And I'm going to do this for all of this tray now, and then we'll should have a really good comparison of what grows faster. That's it, the ones with the shells or the ones without, and I have a feeling it should be the ones without. Here we go, plug that in. Oops, they're really fiddly now though, as you can tell. Yeah, we don't want the shell. Just trying to pick my way through these here. Oh, here's a good white one. It's a big one. That's it. That's right. That's its. That's it. A couple in there. So I'm just going to put that one in. Right. So I'll carry on doing this, and then I'll do another tray. We've got now the key is you've got to mark these, otherwise you'll forget which is which, and you'll be like, oh, which one was that? There they are. So just give you an idea what they look like. This is what's inside the shell there. That's it. So that is the seed pod. Sorry, the seed without its pod. So I'll get this in now, and then like Blue Peter, we'll come back to you when I've done the whole tray. So that's the last of the trays done. I've managed to put them in. It's really fiddly, if I'm honest, and so you're going to need to be in real patience mode as you do it, and try and go, if you do try and break open the pods, I would recommend going with the biggest little white pods that you can find to work on. The smaller ones, it's not easy at all, but the big ones you can actually see like the little black stone inside, and you've got a better chance of handling it. So that's what I would recommend. So obviously we'll see which works better, and we'll be able to work that out if it equals itself out. I'm sure it does, or if one actually grows faster than the other. So I'm going to put the lid on this one now, and I'm going to get the little tags written before I forget what's what, and then we're going to work on putting these pods into these here, the little compost pots. And with these, I think we'll just go with planting the white ones, the bigger shells that I've got, and then we won't need to water them, but we've got their little shells, their cases on and so on. So we'll see what happens as we compare it all. So I'll just go and write this up now, what's what, and then we'll start working on those. So we've got the little compost pods now, and we're just going to prise open the little lids here like we've done with this one, and that's where we're going to plant the plants here. I might let these dry out a little bit because they do look quite wet. So just lift them up like that with your tweezers, and they should all then start to come out there. Just pull that up. There we go. Looks, it's really quite straightforward, a little bit fiddly. I might just let these dry out for a bit, I think, because they are quite wet. I think they're going to be too wet for the seeds that we want to grow. So we're just going to let these dry out a bit. There we go. Yeah, they're definitely too wet. So we'll just let them dry out for a bit by the radiator. But I'll open them up anyway. And then in a bit, we'll put the seeds in. There we go. That's it. Opening these up now. Yeah. And then what we can do is give these, good hour by the radiator. Should soon dry out. We can see how easily they break down. And then our plan will be we'll put them into those when they're ready for transplanting. So I'll carry on just doing this. Now we'll put them by the radiator and then we'll come back once they've dried out. And in the best traditions of Blue Peter, we've now dried them out. I've had them near the radiator all day, so they should be okay. So what I'm going to do now is just put these in here. These are some of the seeds. I'll just put one of these in each of them. Bury that in there. This goes in. Put squeeze in. Just pinch that over the top there. And there we go. And I'm going to do this for all of these, and then I will come back to you in a bit once they're all done. There we go, just pinch them over like so, and that's it. Brilliant. Okay, I'll do the rest of these and come back to you when I've done. And here is the finished product. So I've got them in here all lined up, and they're all nicely dried out. Now I won't water them now probably for a week, I mean, if that, because you can probably see there that's actually already clouding over with water. So probably some of the water droplets over that will feed them. And these guys initially don't like too much water. Probably at the best of times they don't like that much water, but especially when they don't have any roots. And I'm being really conscious not to rot them through being in too much water. So hopefully I've got the right balance. They're in a nice dry room without it being too hot as well, and that's quite important. And these are the rest of them. And so there's 4 trays here. Now these have all been marked out for the different ways that we've done them, and there's 1 tray here. They're next to a radiator, but it's on a very low heat. It's only on 1, and it's not even on at the moment, but the house is nice and warm, and so they should be okay. But we'll keep you posted of progress of what happens. What I'll also do is I'll make a part 2 video over the next couple of weeks, and that will show you some of the trees that we planted 2 years ago and earlier this year. So probably by the time you get to see it, it'll be last year, and they're sort of 4 years old and 2 years old. Plus, I'll also show you the tree where we got all these little seeds from. And our plan is to create a really amazing space in Anchorsholme Park, and if that works, make these the tree of Blackpool, certainly the coastal parts of Blackpool. So join us on the journey, and it's going to be quite exciting. This is probably a 5-10 year project, so I'm hoping this works. But I'm a big believer, if it doesn't work, you learn just as much from your mistakes, if not more, than when it goes right. But I'm hoping I've done that many different ways here that some should work, so we'll start to get our finger on the money, as it were, as regards what works and what doesn't. Anyway, have a wonderful Christmas, and if you're watching this in August, I hope you're having a lovely summer. Yeah, here's to the start of a very exciting journey for Anchorsholme Park and Blackpool itself.